Welcome everyone to another live stream. And because it's Valentine's Day, well, today's the 15th, but for many of you it's Valentine's Day. Today I want to focus on the heart and forgiveness. Now, forgiveness is an area of the heart. We're carrying resistance, blockages, hardness in the heart. You could be carrying that, or you could be completely unaware. This practice is designed to soften the heart space and create more flow in your life. So it's a huge topic. Valentine's Day is all about love, and forgiveness is all about loving the self. So I will lead you through this practice of love and forgiveness. It is beneficial if you practice it with the right intention, with an open heart. However, wherever you're at is okay. Just accept where you are. Even if the burden is lightened by 1%, that's okay. That's progress. 1% is progress. So please don't judge yourself or be narrow in your goals. The possibilities are what you put in, you get out. So it's limitless. So keep practicing, and you will get there. You will make advancements. You will make progress. I did want to quote you something really important, which I think will guide this practice, and it's a quote by the Buddha. To understand everything is to forgive everything. To understand everything is to forgive everything. And this is a beautiful meditation in itself, because what the Buddha is saying is that understanding comes from, the depth of understanding must come from a depth of forgiveness. As in, when we're able to forgive, then that is understanding. Compassion leads to wisdom. And I can talk a bit more about that, but I wanted to digress a little bit and quote the Buddha in another way. No matter how hard the past, you can always begin again. Very inspiring and so true. And how many of us are stuck in something in the past, or still carrying some weight of the past, because the past can be weighty. It can weigh down our hearts. Let me repeat this quote from the Buddha. No matter how hard the past, you can always begin again. How beautiful is that? So, the topic of forgiveness. There are many ways that we've suffered. There's many ways we've been hurt and harmed by others, knowingly, unknowingly, intentionally, unintentionally. Many ways we've been betrayed by others. Are we ready to forgive, or at least open our hearts a little bit and start the process of forgiveness? Perhaps we're not quite ready yet, and that's okay. Just acknowledge that the work of the heart is ahead of you. What sorrows are you still carrying within you, knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or subconsciously? Very important to sit with that and acknowledge that the sorrow and heaviness we may feel could be completely unconscious or subconscious. So that's okay too. Our meditation helps us to bring some awareness into this area. Yet, what about the pain and suffering that we've caused others knowingly or unknowingly, intentionally or unintentionally, etc.? Are you ready to let go of that, to forgive yourself. Let yourself remember the harm that you've caused others, the betrayal, abandonment, gossip, damaging, the cruel words you've said about other people. Perhaps they heard, perhaps they didn't hear, perhaps it led to gossip being spread around that was hurtful to another person. You could have had no idea about the damage that you caused. Did you do this out of your own suffering? Often we inflict wounds on other people out of our own woundedness. Or was it out of ignorance or just unconsciousness, just without the conscious intention of doing harm? Because a lot of the damage we do, particularly through the words, through gossip, is unintentional. We just don't place our awareness on the potential damage and consequences of those actions. We think it's just talking, we think it's harmless. So it can be incredibly powerful, so much so that in more vulnerable people, it could even lead to devastating actions on their part. So just be aware of that. Just as I've hurt others, abandoned my own values and love, so too have I judged myself, betrayed myself in many ways. How have I caused myself suffering in mind, body, and spirit, mind, body, and heart? Am I willing to forgive myself for the suffering that I've caused to other people? We have all suffered and we have all caused suffering. It's important to acknowledge this. Are we ready to turn our hearts in the direction of forgiveness? Are we ready to let go just a little bit of the suffering that we carrying within us, the weight that we are carrying within us? Are you even willing to forgive the unforgivable? That's important. Are you willing to forgive the unforgivable? So just to reiterate, because really there are three aspects at least to forgiveness. There's forgiving other people for what they've done to us. Perhaps that's the most obvious. There's forgiving ourselves for what we have done to other people, for the suffering we have and hurt we've caused other people. And then there's the self. There's self-forgiveness. How have we hurt ourselves, knowingly, unknowingly, intentionally, unintentionally? Can often be alcohol-related, party-related, the damage we do for even things like lack of sleep, lack of food, lack of water, watching Netflix for the entire weekend, orgy of Netflix, things like that. There's many ways we harm ourselves. Lack of exercise is a way we harm our bodies. How do we harm our hearts? How do we not give ourselves love? How do we not accept ourselves, love ourselves? So that gives you some framing to understand the three aspects of forgiveness and what this practice today will be about: garnering more love, engendering more love, creating more love in your life. And I hope that's given you some intro, some understanding of how to frame this. And let's begin. So starting with finding a comfortable position. So I'm in a chair. I'm just focusing the camera a little bit, changing that angle. Good. Excellent. So we find a comfortable position that's steady, that's stable. Soften the face, soften these muscles around the face, the forehead, the jaw, the back of the head, the neck, the shoulders. Just soften that. Be really gentle with yourself. And once you're in a comfortable position, my feet are connected to the ground, and soften it a little bit more. Be gentle with the heart. I'm now ready to close my eyes, and I invite you to close your eyes if you're ready. Just turning inwardly, tuning ourselves within, focusing on love, on our hearts, and sometimes just talking about these topics brings up memories, brings up awareness, brings up trauma, brings up emotions perhaps we haven't felt for a while, perhaps that we feel regularly. And I want you to, at least I invite you to spend this time feeling into that. Feeling into anything that arose, memories, recollections, feelings. Tuning into that. There could even be tears that have already arisen. Please be kind to yourself. Keeping your eyes closed for the duration of this practice. We start by acknowledging how far we have come. We've traveled. It's taken us a lifetime to reach this point. Perhaps we are ready to forgive. Perhaps we're not quite yet ready to forgive. That's okay. Just acknowledge that we've gone through a lot. Acknowledge what you've been through. All the way to now, the present moment. And sitting here now, connecting to the past, connecting to how it's affected us in the present moment. Connecting to the breath now, breathing. How are you breathing? How are you processing your emotions? When you breathe in love. And expanding the breath just a little bit, being mindful of how your breath feels inside your body. Just soften it a little bit. You've suffered a lot. We've all suffered a lot. Breathing in love to soften your heart, to let go of the heaviness in your heart. And we do this through breathing in love. Just breathing in love into the heart and see how that feels. See how that sits with you. Continue to breathe in love. And expand this feeling of love within you. Expand the reservoir of love in your hearts, in your heart space. Breathing in love. We're going to start now focusing on the suffering that has been caused by other people, the pain we've experienced through the actions of other people, intentionally or unintentionally, knowingly or unknowingly, the pain and suffering they have caused us. In so many ways we have suffered. In so many ways, others have caused us pain. And just keep breathing in this love. Keep your breath soft as you acknowledge those who have caused you to suffer. In so many ways, we have suffered through the actions, the words, the non-actions of other people. And so often their actions were cruel, were cold, were callous. And we felt that pain and suffering. We felt that in our hearts. Perhaps we judged them, perhaps we judged ourselves. But now we take back our hearts. We focus in on raising the level of love frequency that we hold in our hearts. And do this through number one, acknowledging, and number two, forgiving. In so many ways, we have suffered. And now is the time to let go just a little bit of this. Whatever you're ready to let go of. We take this time. We take this moment to forgive. Forgive those who have trespassed against us. From our hearts, we forgive them, imagining them standing in a crowd in front of us. Perhaps the crowd is large, or perhaps it's a small number of people. And as they stand before us now, we look into their eyes and say, "You have caused me to suffer. And I've held on to this for too long. It's a weight, it's a burden that I'm not willing to carry with me throughout my life. And as hard as it is, I'm willing now to let go of all of this, or just a little bit of it. I'm willing to let go of this burden and forgive you, just a little bit or completely. To open my heart to you again and acknowledge that we've all suffered. You suffered, I've suffered. We've all caused suffering. It's a cycle, it's a flow. And acknowledgement is important. So we acknowledge this suffering and we now let it go from our bodies, from our hearts. We let go of the weight of suffering and we give it back into the earth. We let it resolve into the earth. It can help to imagine a flowing river, a stream, a waterfall, even an ocean that takes away our suffering with its waves, with its water, which purifies our hearts. So letting go now, looking into the eyes of our oppressors and saying, I'm ready to forgive you, not just for you, but for me, for this burden that I'm carrying. I'm tired of carrying this burden and it's now time to let go of it. Whatever you did, perhaps intentionally or unintentionally, whatever you did, I'm ready to forgive you, to let go of this. And just breathing in love and feeling the effects of letting go, forgiving, feeling the effects of forgiving, integrating that and absorbing that, breathing in love, breathing in light, softening, softening, softening. Thank you for your practice. We're going to continue now, and now we're going to focus on ourselves. ourselves on how we have caused damage, pain, suffering, cruelty to other people, knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or unconsciously, intentionally or unintentionally. We may be completely unaware of this suffering. But that's okay. We still need to acknowledge it. We still need to raise our consciousness to become aware of this suffering, because it does exist in the world. So for all the suffering we have caused other people, all the pain we've inflicted on them, all the disharmony, the disruption, the loss, the losses we've caused them, from your heart, I invite you to say sorry, to apologize. I'm sorry, forgive me. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. If it works to place your hand or your hands over your heart, this can help your practice. Otherwise, just stay as you are and repeat silently in your head, in your heart. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And we say this to the people that we have harmed, the people we have caused to suffer, the people that we have lost compassion for, willingly or unwillingly, intentionally or unintentionally. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And feel the weight of your heart softening, letting go of the tension of guilt and shame that you may be carrying. Releasing this now as we acknowledge that we have all suffered. We have caused suffering, and suffering has been caused to us. It is a flaw, and acknowledgement is important. Our forgiveness is powerful. Thank you for this practice. Breathing in love and softening the heart, integrating our practice, our journey of forgiveness. We're going to move on to the third leg, the third step in this forgiveness exercise. And that is focusing on ourselves. And often this is a difficult component. Often we don't acknowledge all the ways we've caused ourselves to suffer. How many ways have we caused ourselves pain? How many ways have we caused ourselves to suffer through our thoughts, our deeds, our actions, even the emotions we've engendered? In so many ways, we've caused ourselves to suffer, in large ways and small ways. We've betrayed ourselves, we've betrayed our love, we've betrayed our values, our value system. We've been disrespectful to our bodies, disrespectful to our souls, disrespectful to our hearts. In so many ways, we've caused ourselves to suffer. In so many ways, we've suffered. We haven't looked after our bodies effectively. We've become overwhelmed and overrun by stress. We've taken our focus off looking after our bodies, looking after our minds, looking after our souls, and nurturing our hearts. In so many ways we have suffered. In so many ways we have caused ourselves to suffer, caused ourselves to be out of balance, out of harmony, given away our power willingly or unwillingly. Perhaps we've worked too hard. In so many ways we've caused ourselves to suffer. And now we focus on forgiveness, on forgiving ourselves for what we've done, our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, our non-actions. In so many ways we've caused ourselves damage, pain, suffering. Placing your hand over your heart if it helps, your hands over your heart. Breathing in love, breathing in light. Softening your heart. Saying and repeating these words. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Filling yourself, your body, your heart with light and love, with softness, gentleness. Be really gentle with yourself now. And whenever emotions arise, if tears come up, tears start to flow, please let them flow. Please let your tears flow without resistance, without judgment, without shame, without guilt. Let them flow. This is your healing. This is your time to heal. This is your time to let go. You deserve that. You deserve this kindness, this self-kindness, this self-compassion, this self-love practice of forgiveness. Repeating to yourself, focused on your heart, I'm sorry for all I've done to myself, all the damage I've done to myself. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Breathing in lightness, deepening your breath. You've carried so many burdens with you. You've harmed yourself in so many ways. Repeating these words to the self, to yourself. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And breathing in that love, breathing in that love, that unconditional love, breathing in compassion for yourself. And as we forgive others, we forgive ourselves. As we have compassion for ourselves, we also have compassion for the suffering of others. And to end off our practice, sending love and compassion outwardly, sending love and compassion out into the world, sending it from our hearts to the world, radiating outwardly, glowing with love, with compassion, with kindness. And smiling inwardly, smiling and sending the smile out into the world. Staying soft, staying gentle, remaining very kind and sending this loving kindness energy out into the world, because all people need this right now. It's really important that we give this to ourselves, and when we become solid in our practice, then we're ready to radiate this out into the world. Love and loving kindness, compassion. Breathing in this love, coming back to finish off your practice, Feeling your feet connecting to the ground. Just rubbing the heart. We're going to finish off this meditation with the mantra Yam. So say this in your mind or out loud. You can follow me. Yam. Breathing in now. Yam. 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 Radiating loving kindness, the frequency, the vibrational frequency of the heart. Yam. Breathing in deeply, placing your hands over your eyes and gradually opening your eyes, finishing off your practice. Thank you all for your generous participation. Wherever you're at, it's beautiful. Your heart is unfolding like a flower, and it's okay that if you're not able to forgive all at once. That's not the expectation. This is a process. It's a journey. It's the journey of the heart. It has many layers. It's Valentine's Day still in many countries and many places. So I want you to give you this gift of love and compassion, this gift of forgiveness on Valentine's Day. May it be a beautiful expression of your love, and may your heart feel lighter, freer, kinder, more compassionate to yourself and to others, and more joyful, more free. Thank you everyone so much for being here. I'm David Starlyte. This has been an honor to be here leading you through this forgiveness practice, this forgiveness meditation. Please like below, feel free to share this practice with others, and feel free to repeat this practice as necessary. Thank you. Goodbye everyone. Goodbye.